Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. For some reason, I consider gravity to be one of my foes. One of my arch villains is gravity, right? What do I know? I'm just a little human being, on planet Earth or whatever. But gravity really bothers me. Seriously, it's one of these nerdy sort of like frustrations that I have in life only because like I'm a little guy and it seems to do weird things with my clothes and my figure with no work coming from me whatsoever, and it's so tough, right? I'm just like whatever. I hope that you guys are having a really, really good night. Thanks to all the new subs and viewers again. I know sometimes I sound like a broken record. I try not to. I hope that you guys have been engaged with some of the content that I've put up recently. Um, it's interesting because a lot of the videos that we see at the top of the page that I just post don't get any views for a week or sometimes even two, in the kind of capacity that we do draw viewers here on the channel. So tonight I want to talk about giving to give. Okay, so I didn't know where I was going with this. I just looked at that and decided that was going to be the topic. So here's the thing. So we draw and we learn from our life experiences. We draw and we learn stuff, right? Things that we are gonna do again, things that we won't do again, and that's just called growing up. Take it from this almost 37-year-old guy who looks like he's a senior citizen, and with and clearly unable to take care of his eyebrows. That like life is simply a summation of all of our experiences, and so most of the time we want those experiences to be good, right? But there's always room for error, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes in life, a lot. I mean, that's just a part of being a human being. The severity and the degree of those mistakes that you make, obviously, I feel like is inherently, centrally focused on the environment that people are around, but that's just my opinion. And last year, right, and it's a pretty common thing on the channel, I know I went through a really, really bad relationship, that like really impacted me, and I bring this up because it was toxic in a sense that like I felt like it was toxic in a sense that, I was always told that like you should give to just give and not expect anything back. And follow me, like indulge me here just for a second, because I feel like when people openly go out and say these things, like that it's hypocritical in terms of like, obviously, life isn't a set of economic and financial transactions, right? You shouldn't have to be told that in terms of like, for example, if I had lent her money to pay a utility bill, right? Or something along those lines. Like, as much as I want to be just a nice person and just, like give that to you, at some point, like, is it not even cool for me to want some acknowledgement in that, I did that for you, and that instead of gaslighting me in saying that I'm bad for expecting something in return, instead of, you know, like the gaslighting part in that my expectation was never really high or anything short of just reciprocity. I mean, you give and you take. You've seen these little penny holder things at old school gas stations that say take a penny, leave a penny, kind of a thing. It's just a common sense kind of a thing, I feel like, to offer something in return for something else, but out of genuine offering, if that makes any sense, right? Because, yeah, obviously, as in the example of my last toxic relationship, I'm not marking down in a book, favor for favor. What I mean, that's not the way, even though it's presented as such, like the way it is in terms of like, you know, giving to give is something that happens naturally, but the failure to acknowledge the gift and or reciprocate even by just that simple acknowledgement is something that's really frustrating. And I really don't understand why people, always that say they don't want anything when they give you something ultimately are the ones that want everything because you gave them something, And so when you guys are out there, ladies, gentlemen, they, them, I mean, I wish I could tell you something other than like follow common sense, But I've heard so many, and I'm sure you have too, examples of people in your life that have had a falling out over a handful of dollars, or because somebody didn't pay their plane ticket or something. I mean, adults can get real, real nitpicky, But the thing is I think, again, it's more of a common sense kind of notion to understand that when you give something, as much as you'd like something in return, sometimes that thing in return doesn't happen immediately and you gotta charge it to the game. You feel me? In that, yeah, like, obviously what goes around comes around. This isn't like a magical statement. It's the world is based on IOUs. I mean, we live in a capitalistic world where debt is the primary driver of all of society. Isn't that crazy? That like all the stuff and all the progress and everything that you see around you is a result of debt? Like, again, leave it up to human beings to make up these really benign, arbitrary, and sort of very discriminatory governmental authorized policies to keep human beings divided. You feel me? In that, like legit, that's the world. But yeah, so I feel like anytime, again, ladies, gentlemen, they, them, we we should expect that when you give something, you really, as a person, you're not expecting anything back per se, right? I mean, again, we'll leave that to capitalist, market driven behavior in the financial sense, like at licensed, accredited, insured, bonded stores and other places that accept currency. I mean, because that, again, we don't need to philosophically, and existentially debate, the medium of exchange as it concerns some laundry detergent. I mean, again, but like in our own interpersonal lives, that's to me the success. That to me is the key to success, as it is in the interpersonal or intrapersonal space with people, right? Is behaving in a common sense kind of a way without having to acknowledge the very hypocritical statement of which people often use to make you feel bad, in that you don't, you may not even be the person, you're not demanding repayment, you're not demanding a thank you, you're not demanding anything other than the acknowledgement that somebody did something nice for you. I mean, because again, otherwise it's just gaslighting everybody your whole life. Like if you're one of those people who use that and then do that again on somebody else and then isn't that like just leading people on like your whole life, in that like way? I think to me that's how it feels. You know what I mean? Again, so yeah, like I've always been the person that when I do something for people, like, yeah, there's some expectations for me, right? But there's social expectations. I nobody's ever paid me back, and obviously there's been times in my life where I've been a little upset about that. Evan, yes, I'm talking to you. Dude, you owe me like $2,000, bro. And like, what? This is my best friend. I don't care what they say, whatever. I didn't say your last name. But if you ever watch this video, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Is like, I've never, who cares? Because again, if I did care about that, Senor Evan out there, you feel me? Well, obviously I still wouldn't be calling you a friend of mine. You understand? So like, I don't know, like I think that is foolish, in that I've been always the kind of person that expects people to be better, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't pay me back. I don't expect, that woman from last year ever pay my roommate back for the $600 water bill times two that he paid to prevent her from being disconnected at her house? No. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people are always about that, individual need, even in the weirdest of times when they make it about them and fail to acknowledge, like, who actually did something, and then they're made feel bad about it for seeking that acknowledgement on a very basic human level. So, yeah, when you're out there in the world and you're giving things to people, obviously you want reasonable expectations. You want, even if the expectation is simply just wanting that person to do well with whatever you're giving them, because that's also an expectation, I mean, and it's one that's far from being recognized or thanked or paid back. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate you guys joining me. Seriously, the channel, does better every single day. People watch videos that are older. I'm so humbled and happy to be a part of, growing this channel at this particular time in my life, especially because I won't be doing anything else ever anytime soon. So this must work, and I'm happy that it is slowly but surely working. I hope that you guys have a really good night. Thanks again for all of your time. We were kind of busy here tonight. I think I made a lot longer than an hour of content between the 4 videos and the 10 shorts that I'm about to spam YouTube with, But I hope that you guys have a really good night. And again, until next time, be safe out there, all right? And do nothing. Bye.